welcome to Steelers Today, following the final day of training camp at Heinz Field. It's been broken, and they're heading over to the south side after this. But first, there's a small matter, maybe not so small matter, of the preseason game here on Saturday night against the Lions.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game. As we know, this will be the game where Mike Tomlin will play his starters. I'm guessing at least a quarter. He wouldn't say. We couldn't nail him down on how much he planned to play everybody. But we did get some interesting, I guess, little nuggets. Like Joe Schobert's going to play out there just with the first unit. He's not going to play out there at all with the second unit. That first team line could stay in there when Mason Rudolph is the number 2 quarterback after Ben Roethlisberger leaves, and it will be Mason Rudolph, by the way.
I've heard.
I know I'm a Haskins hater, apparently, but it is what it is. I'm just telling you what is going to happen, not what you might want to happen.
The goal is to
hope
report,
and want
for it all you want. Report accurately.
That is correct.
That's how it works.
So you're going to see that. It's going to be, I think, one of the interesting things that we're going to see is how they handle that nickel cornerback spot. I wrote about it yesterday on the website. Antoine Brooks did not practice again today. He practiced yesterday, but then didn't practice again today. And Mike Tomlin gave a very long, convoluted explanation of what they're looking for at the slot cornerback position. Listen to this.
We've got different type of slots. We got possession down slots or 2-minute slots. We got 1st and 10 slots. We're working a lot of people to provide a lot of opportunity there. Cam has been a guy that's played some in there during the course of his career on possession downs, and so we were working some possession down things yesterday in that regard. But we'll continue to cast a wide net and look at a variety of candidates regarding that interior nickel or sub package play. It's not just there's not just a cookie cutter. There's not just a nickel. They're 1st and 2nd down nickels. They're 3rd down nickels. They're 2-minute nickels, and so versatility is things that we value, and we're gonna utilize that situationally, no doubt.
We've got 1st down slot corners.
Yeah.
We got 2nd down slot nickel corners.
We've got pass
silver
situation.
nickels.
We've got run situation.
Everything but wooden nickels, I think, is what they had in there.
Well, I'll tell you what. The thing that strikes me about that whole scenario, and I wrote my own piece on this for DK Pittsburgh Sports, which you'd better be checking out, by the way. Why not just go with James Pierre as right outside corner and put Cam Sutton in the middle and call it a day?
Because it's the same reason why they didn't do that before. They've always liked Cam Sutton as that nickel cover corner. If you remember a couple of years ago, I wrote in training camp, and I didn't just write this off the top of my head. I've been hearing things that they liked Sutton better as a coverage nickel cornerback than they liked Hilton.
Mike Hilton, yep.
But they liked Hilton's ability to stop the run and blitz better than they liked Sutton. Who did they play more? Hilton.
Right, because they valued that wild card element that he brings.
He helps in the run stopping. He gives them an extra blitzer in there if it's 3rd and 5. And the offense could still run the football, or 3rd and 3, things of that nature, and there's still the possibility of a run, then you have Hilton in there. If it's 3rd and 11, then a lot of times you would see Sutton in there. So that's why you just don't put Sutton in there. Plus, if you just make it Sutton all the time, again, he's going to get beaten up. We saw Mike Hilton get hurt last year.
Yeah, it's a role that's physical beyond what their frames are built to withstand. Correct. And it's going to be fascinating. Let's put it this way. Beyond the obvious stuff, which we will get to, by the way, in the second segment, meaning who the quarterback will be against Detroit, it's going to be fascinating to watch the last positional battle.
It really is.
Really. Yeah. And when they say battle, I'm using a singular term, but we're affecting 2 positions here because it is about right outside corner and slot. But it's a single battle that's being waged by the players themselves and, of course, debated by the coaches. The other guy that's kind of in the mix, and if I sound terribly not excited about this, it's because it's Arthur Maulet.
He's the hater. He hates Arthur Maulet.
It's actually, you can't even see on the back of my shirt that it says Arthur Maulet
hater. He's got a circle in his...
Just a mediocre whatever guy who came from a terrible team, the Jets. didn't even get on the field all the time with those guys. That doesn't interest me at all. It's why don't they just go get somebody, Dale? They're still sitting on cash.
If that guy that they were looking for was out there, the guy who could replicate Mike Hilton's skill set, they would do it. Antoine Brooks is still that guy. He just hasn't been on the field.
Well, that's kind of a big thing.
At some point this season, he will be back.
Okay.
And he's a second-year guy. They want to make him earn it.
But
missing
is he
time.
that guy, though? That's the other thing. Now, I don't want to sound like now I'm piling on to the hatred here or whatever, but does Antoine Brooks have Mike Hilton's quickness, speed? How about his nose for the play, which was the number one thing that attracted to the Steelers in training camp a few years ago?
Mike Tomlin saw a lot of this kid at Maryland.
You mean Brooks?
At Brooks.
Yeah.
They didn't draft him just that guy has maybe has the skill set. They had an idea in mind when they drafted him. He did it last year against Cincinnati in that game. He played the nickel cornerback spot. So I think they still have high hopes for him, but you got to be on the field.
Got to be on the field.
The best ability is availability, and it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. If you're not available, you're not going to be out there, and so they got to start repping other stuff to get ready for that.
When we come back after this break, number 7. Welcome back. Ben Roethlisberger is going to be playing in a football game.
The only quarterback that really matters.
And the only quarterback that really matters in this building in front of lots and lots of humans. Now, maybe we can forget, those of us who, follow more sports than just football, that this team has yet to do that in the post-pandemic era. Heinz Field had at one point maxed out at around 3,000, 4,000, but really that was family and
friends.
That's
a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, when you're talking about a place that holds 68,500 as its official capacity, that's nothing. Let's hear, first of all, from Ben himself on this subject.
For sure. This place is special. These fans are special. They're the best fans in all the sports, not just the NFL. And so it would have been really hard to walk away not being able to play in front of them because almost half my adult life I've been playing football in front of them. So they mean the world to me. So I want to give them everything I have.
I specifically asked Ben there, I was kind of asking him, did that factor into his decision not to retire after last season? Because I know that it did. Like, he didn't want to go out. I think the rush that he gets coming out of that tunnel, as he said, he's played more than half or half of his adult life in front of the people in this stadium.
Oh, yeah, this stadium.
And so I think that rush coming out of the tunnel, I don't know that you can explain.
Now, those of us who've never experienced certainly can't do it.
You hear rock stars talk about it, being on stage in front of 50,000 screaming people. It's the same thing here for Ben Roethlisberger. And so, to go out after last season not having done that, I think would have been a real downer for him, especially considering how last season ended. He also said that his elbow feels great and that, he's kind of been reinvigorated by this new offense. It's forced him to study more. It's forced him to kind of reinvent how he approaches the game off the field.
To touch on the elbow first, more important than what he says is what he's shown.
Yeah.
And you and I have seen him put up footballs, aerials, deep balls that he was not doing last year. Now, he didn't complain and didn't say, I can't throw the ball 30 yards downfield. But again, it's what they show you. You talk about this all the time. It's what they show you, not what they tell you. Okay,
right.
When he's throwing nothing but 4-yard dinks and dunks, chances are he's probably got something to do with that. Now you're seeing him, Dale, not just like stand back and heave a long pass, which most guys can do. It's that he's rolling.
He's
to
throwing
his
on the move,
right, which is not. You're going to see this. I can promise you this against the Lions at some point where he rolls to his right, and you're going to go, whoa, what year is this again? And then he will throw back against his body, and you'll realize the difference, the potential difference between the 2020 Ben and the 2021 Ben.
Their arm strength throws. The people who are out there saying that he doesn't have the arm strength anymore are full of it. The arm strength is certainly there. It's back. I can't
Well,
stress
in fairness,
this. I can't
before we
stress
say
this
they're
enough.
full of it, I mean, they don't see what me and you see.
But
so
even
that's not fair.
watching the games last year, watch Drew Brees play last year, and put on Ben Roethlisberger's tape from 2020, and tell me which one of them didn't have the arm strength to make throws. Again, teams tell you what they think of their quarterback or what they think.
Yeah, Brees had nothing left
In the playoffs last year, to throw a deep pass, the Saints run Jameis Winston into the game to throw a deep ball and then run him back off and have Brees come back in.
Brees had nothing
They
left.
didn't do that.
Yeah.
This is not Peyton Manning's situation at the end of his career where he just couldn't throw the football. The guy, if you remember, last year at this time, we were just seeing him throw a football for real for the first time again. That playoff game against Cleveland, he
threw like crazy. People forget that now in the second half because
but it
of
was
what happened
less than
in the
a year
first,
removed from. It was a year removed from. He had just hadn't even thrown a football yet.
Yeah.
At that point, a year before that.
Yeah.
So yes, there was going to be some rustiness there. I think that's all part of it.
Well,
the guy's arm is back.
We're expecting to see him. I don't want to say a full quarter, but it might be a full quarter.
I'd say 2 or 3 series.
Yeah, I think it's going to be counted more by series than by quarters. Almost as important, obviously, from the Ben standpoint, is that he'll be out there for the first time with maybe the whole first projected offensive line. No Claypool. Maybe you'll see Dan Moore come in and out for Zach Banner at right tackle. That's something that we saw again today. But for the most part, it's going to be the first team offense. And oh, by the way, there's a running back wearing number 22 that might also partake in this. He might factor into things. But again, to see him and Ben, again, we see this on a regular basis, but to see him and Ben out there together and how Ben will utilize him, not just in turning around and handing the ball. Wait till you see what Najee Harris can do in terms of catching it.
Yeah, I'm real interested to see that. And as I asked Mike Tomlin a couple of weeks ago, might they be inclined to go for 2 more often?
I'm always open to that. When I feel comfortable with our ability to win those moments, man, I like to be thoughtfully aggressive, and so certainly.
When you asked that, I actually couldn't believe he answered it, because that is exactly the kind of question he normally does not answer. And he came back with, well, yeah, but that also falls very much in line with when I asked Tomlin when we were out in Philadelphia, and I asked him a question about Najee Harris that was really, to be honest with you, kind of like a softball,
just
syrupy,
tossing it up there,
just here, do what you want with it. And you'd think at some point this head coach would say, man, he's a rookie.
Yeah, tap the brakes.
Why are we still going to tap the brakes? He never does it with this player,
No,
Dale.
He's special. I just think, you saw Tevin Jenkins was a guy that a lot of fans said, they should have drafted Tevin Jenkins. It's just the next best offensive lineman available, which would have been Tevin Jenkins. He was the next guy drafted. He had back surgery. He's scheduled for back surgery this week.
Okay. I mean,
you think maybe that was
blame him for that.
But that was something that was on the table in the draft.
Oh, you mean that they would have known that there'd be issues? Well, they do their homework, but more important than that, this team had its mind set on Najee Harris for a long time. We now know why, and we now know, to hear them, to see them interact with him, to what degree that came from in here. They believe in him. I'm really looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to seeing humans here.
I'll be interested to see how many 22 jerseys are in the stands.
There will be a lot of those too. There will be a lot of those. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll have another one of these after the game.